Governor Greg Abbott held a news conference with other local officials. He was also joined by Kristi, Noem, the Secretary of the Department of Homeland Security, who was also here in Texas to address what was going on. And I can tell you once again, at this late hour, we're being told, even into the early hours of tomorrow morning, the commitment is in place. Governor Abbott says, as we speak tonight, they're still working to try and find anyone who may still be alive. At an earlier news conference on Saturday, Texas Governor Greg Abbott was joined by other state, local, and even federal officials. He described the massive joint effort to find anyone alive.
We will be relentless in going after and ensuring that we locate every single person who's been a victim of this flooding event. We're not going to stop today or tomorrow. We will stop when the job is completed.
As of late Saturday night, the death toll was at least 43, 28 adults and 15 children. A large number of those still missing, officials say, are campers from Camp Mystic, a children's camp along the Guadalupe River in Kerr County. Despite the grim death toll, more than 850 people have been rescued by land and by air, something Department of Homeland Security Kristi Noem spoke on while joining Governor Abbott.
We did have Coast Guard assets here that were helping to rescue people. We're thankful for the airframe that showed up and those coasties that were here walking alongside our DPS and the emergency responders that were here.
You know, it's one thing to talk about just how powerful the flash floods were. It's a whole other thing to show you. And when you take a look over my shoulder here into this section of the Guadalupe River, you can see all of these snapped trees, all of this destroyed vegetation and the debris. It speaks to just how powerful the water was rushing in this area. Of course, now the big fear becomes that as this operation turns from a rescue effort to a recovery effort, the crews will find more bodies trapped in areas just like this.
Our hope and prayer is that there are still people alive that are out there, and we are still actively searching for them, and we will continue. And listen, that will turn into recovery at some point, and none of us want to put a time period on that right now. But when you talk to the men and women that are up there in those helicopters and out in those boats and walking the ground, they're looking for live people right now.
And that is true as of this hour. You just heard from the Texas Division of Emergency Management Chief Noem talking about the crew members out there right now looking for live people at some point. Inevitably, we all understand that this will turn into a recovery effort, but as of tonight, that is still not the case. The dozens of crew members that are still out there at this time right now, once again, still looking for what he described as live people. I should tell you that throughout the day today, there were 160 air rescues that took place. And again, we know that the Coast Guard has been here on hand, Texas DPS troopers, and lots of other rescue crews conducting these air rescues, but 160 of them. So that gives you a magnitude, sort of an idea of just how many folks were out there stranded, hanging onto tree limbs, hanging out to the river banks who needed to be rescued. Really gives you a good idea of just how drastic the measures were earlier here today that needed to be taken to rescue these folks.